In this video, I'm going to help you to figure out some of the counting for one of the hardest rhythms in the clarinet repertoire. My name is Josh Gu, and after years of studying the clarinet with some of the best teachers from around the world, I am excited to be sharing my knowledge with you. So go to QuickStartClarinet.com or check the description on this video to see all of the wonderful resources I have to help you reach your clarinet dreams. And of course, subscribe to this channel for weekly clarinet and music tips and tricks. This is the last, for now, rhythm-focused video to celebrate the launch of my newest course, True Rhythm Mastery. It's been fantastic seeing the results people are already getting in the course. It's been fantastic to be doing all kinds of fun, different rhythm topics and diving deep with that. Whether you're in the course or not, I hope that you found the videos I've been doing lately helpful and interesting for your rhythm journey. I promise, no matter what skill you're at now, no matter what your relationship is with rhythm, True Rhythm Mastery can help you to improve that relationship and make rhythm one of your most confident strengths in your playing rather than a tentative weakness. So if you're interested in learning more about True Rhythm Mastery, go to quickstartclarinet.com/rhythm to check it out. So this may not be the most crazy, challenging rhythms in all of the clarinet repertoire, but I think it's actually pretty close, definitely one of them, and I would definitely argue the most complicated rhythms that are in the public domain, for sure, which we need to find public domain works to be able to share so much, so that's that. If you have a piece that you think has substantially harder rhythms than this, leave it in the comments. If you don't know what the piece is yet, probably in the title or the thumbnail, so you probably already know, but if you want to pause and take a guess about what it is in the comments too, that would be really fun, I think. But what the piece is that I decided to do for this is the last movement, the third piece of Stravinsky's Three Pieces for solo clarinet. This piece is wild. Time signature changes all over the place, crazy rhythms, 5/16, all kinds of craziness. And I wanted to get in there and help you figure out how to count it. For one, to actually, if you're a clarinetist, help you know how to really count the piece rather than just sort of feeling it. And for two, because I think it's a great example and demonstration and sort of test to really make sure that you understand how counting works, and also to give you a little bit of insight into the True Rhythm Mastery system so that you can really feel ultra confident with your rhythm counting. So let me jump over to my computer so that I can actually write on the music a little bit and you can sort of see how everything's working, and I can explain how you can really count this piece rather than just sort of loosely feeling it and hanging on for dear life. All right, here we are, the first two lines of the third movement or third piece of Stravinsky's Three Pieces for clarinet. This is, again, crazy, crazy rhythms, and I want to sort of give you some tips specific to this piece, but also just sort of general tips for improving your rhythm and counting and all of that good stuff. So the first thing we need to do when we're encountering a piece, any piece, but especially one that's a little crazy like this, is just start understanding how the time signatures and all that kind of stuff is working. 2/4, straightforward, we can sort of understand what's going on there, but then we hit 5/16, 3/16, 3/8, 2/8, 3/8 in parentheses, 6/16. There's all kinds of crazy stuff going on there. So the tip that I want to give you, and this takes just a little bit of working out, but because there's so much like 5/16, 3/16, 3/8, 2/8, there's all of these eighth notes or smaller subdivisions in the denominators. This becomes really helpful to, instead of 2/4, think of this as 4/8. It's exactly the same. There's 4 eighth notes in 2/4. There's 4 eighth notes in 4/8. But it's so much easier to go from 4/8 to 5/16 or 4/8 to 3/8 rather than 2/4 to 3/8 or 2/4 to 5/16 especially. Hopefully you can see how that makes sense. Like 4/8 and 3/8, very closely related. 2/4 and 3/8, you have to like change that denominator subdivision. So it adds a little layer of difficulty. And when there's already so much shifting and changing going on, I highly encourage just think in 4/8 so that that's easier to tackle. So that's the first problem, figuring that out. And what I might do on a piece like this too, and it's really crazy, is I might even just count through the time signature and think through that. I'm also a huge fan of conducting when it comes to figuring out rhythm. So that's something that I do. You don't have to do that, but if you want to give it a try, you can. So we're going to conduct in 4/8, 5/16, 3/16, 3/8, 2/8, and then I'm going to do this one. I'm going to go ahead and do it in 6/16 because I think that's what he meant. But again, you can decide, is it 3/8 or is it 6/16? It only changes the inflection ever so slightly. And the main thing that it's going to change about the inflection is that this beat in 6/16 is stronger than it is in 3/8, but it has an accent on it regardless of it's 3/8 or 6/16. So I think if you feel this in 6/16, it's going to be the same effect as feeling it in 3/8 with the accent. So it doesn't matter so much which one you do. So let's try conducting it. I'm just going to sort of demonstrate how to conduct it, and then you can sort of figure out how that works for you and think through it. So 4/8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So that's how that's gonna work. And then we also have to decide how we're grouping the 5/16. Is it 2 plus 3 or 3 plus 2? Just thinking through it. It depends again where you want that accent and emphasis. Is it dilly yum bum bim bum or dilly yum bum bim bum? I think dilly yum bum bim bum bim. I think I'm gonna go with 3 plus 2 there. So I might even write that in. So that gives us a good idea of sort of how the actual time signatures are working. That's the grid that we're working with. Now we need to put the rhythms onto that grid of the steady beat and time signature. And that's where our traditional counting comes in. So if we're counting this in 4/8, then it's going to be different than 2/4. In 2/4, we would do 1 and a 2E. But since it's in 4/8, I'm just going to fully shift and commit to the 4/8 and count this 1, 2, and 3, and 1. And again, you don't have to write in all of the counting, but if you can't just look at it and know what the counting is, then you should write it in. So we might run into trouble at like 30-second notes. 1, 2, and this is 3, E, and 4, and. This is another perk of thinking in 4/8 rather than 2/4. In 2/4, this is 2 E, and is how I count the 30-second notes. That's crazy. 2 E, and rather than 3 E, and 4, and. Much more manageable. 1 and 2 and triplet, 3 and 4 and 1 triplet and. This is how I count 5/16 and compound beats. And actually, this isn't how I've always counted it, but this is the system that I came up with specifically for true rhythm mastery because I never learned a good way to count compound meters, and I think this is a good one that I came up with. So 1 triplet and 2 and 1 and 1 and 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 1 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and is how that's going to work in 6/16. The other thing that you might be concerned about are these grace notes. Grace notes, especially in this style where they're as fast as they can be before the beat, they don't actually disturb the rhythm at all. We still get to hear on 1. We just put a little but a 1, 2, and into it. So that's figuring out the counting. Now we get to put together that steady time signature with the conducting and actually counting. So I'm going to go really slow at first to like really get it comfortable. And then I might speed up a little bit. So let's try 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and triplet 3, and 4, and 1 triplet, and a 2, and 1, and 1, and 2, and 1, 2, and 1, and 2, and then there is a downbeat. So we'll go ahead and say 1 that we're going to a downbeat, because rhythms always work better when you're leading to something to land on. Even if it is a rest after that, it's also good to like feel that two and like you're leading to that silence. It's not, there's nothing there. There's still a beat there. There's still something you're leading to. It's just silence rather than sound. So that wasn't too bad. You'll also notice I was kind of singing the notes too. That's a great way to work on it. You don't have to sing well. You don't have to sing exactly the right pitches, but it's really helpful to get that. The other thing I might do is isolate anything that was a little tricky. This one, for example, is actually a little off. One and triplet three, one and triplet three, and again leading to three, super duper helpful there. So let's try again. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and triplet 3, and 4, and 1 triplet, and 2, and 1, and. Not quite convinced that that's steady. 3, and 4, and so I'm just doing the time signature 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and now the notes 3, and 4, and 1 triplet, and 1 triplet, and 2, and 1 triplet, and 2, and. Yeah, I think my 1 triplets are a little slow, so I'm just going to work on that subdivision real quick. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 triplet and triplet, 2 triplet and triplet, 3 triplet and triplet, 4 triplet and triplet, 1 triplet and triplet, 2 triplet and triplet, 3 triplet and triplet, 4 triplet and triplet 1. So it's a little bit of a mouthful, but I'm sort of getting the feel for it. 3 and 4 and 1 triplet and 2 and 2, 3, 1 and 2 and. That's starting to feel good. Let's put the whole thing together one more time, maybe a little bit faster too, to sort of see what the finished product of this might look like. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and triplet 3, and 4, and 1 triplet, and 2, and 1, and 1, and 2, and 1, 2, and 1, and 2, and 1. Not bad. So that's the right idea there. Notice I'm not using a metronome. That's super unusual. Always, always, always use a metronome when you're practicing rhythm. But this one's really challenging because of all of those 5/16s and 3/16s. It throws off the metronome a little too much to where you'd have to put it on 16th notes. But then it's kind of too fast to put it on 16th notes where you have like that's just a little too much craziness with the metronome, which makes it even more important to like really have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 1 and 1 and 2 and like really know where your steady beat is and where the time signature is, so that you are having an honest steady beat to fit in with. And I hope this helps you to see how you can count and really feel even the most complicated rhythms, and you don't have to be sort of just loosey-goosey hoping that you're aiming in the right spot and ending up being approximately sort of kind of right how the recordings sound. You can actually really honestly for yourself know how the counting works, fit the rhythms into the steady beat. And I'm going to talk more about this in a second when I jump back over to the main video. But if you enjoyed this kind of working this out and figuring out this rhythm, and if you're like, wow, this is really useful stuff to be thinking of rhythms this way and breaking it down, you have to get into true rhythm mastery, quickstartclarinet.com/rhythm. But that's all I'll say about it now, because I'll jump over to the other camera to say more about this. But that gives you a good overview of how this rhythm counting actually works. I hope you found this helpful, and good luck with your rhythm. All right, I hope that is giving you some security and feeling like you can really tackle rhythms. If that was super intimidating and overwhelming, that's okay. These are, again, some of the hardest rhythms in all of the clarinet repertoire, so don't feel too overwhelmed if you're just starting out on your rhythm journey. It's a skill, you can develop it, you don't need talent to get there. Everybody out there can figure this out if you put in the work and put in the work the right way. And this is actually in the final test lesson of my course, True Rhythm Mastery. So if you want to get all of the foundation and stepping stones along the way so you can nail really, really challenging rhythms like this, then I highly encourage you to go to quickstartclarinet.com/rhythm and learn more about true rhythm mastery. Like I said, in that course, we'll go much deeper on this whole rhythm counting system. We have some like really powerful exercises to be developing your talent. Again, I don't think there's such a thing as talent when it comes to pretty much anything, but there are some foundational exercises in there that I think are really, really helpful to get you feeling how the beat works, predicting the beat, feeling really good about having a steady beat and how the rhythms work and getting all of that to come together. That's what the whole course is about. So hopefully you've seen a few of my rhythm videos at this point, and maybe you've heard about true rhythm mastery a couple times now. And I just really want to encourage you, really strongly encourage you, that if you feel like rhythm is something that's holding you back, and you feel like rhythm would be something that would be worth improving, because it's the most important part of music, so it's definitely worth improving. But if you feel like you're somebody who's enjoyed these videos and feel like you want to take your rhythm to the next level and feel like you've truly mastered it, then go to quickstartclarinet.com/rhythm, learn about true rhythm mastery. It's totally risk-free. I think it's one of my best courses yet, so again, super encouraging you to do that, because I think it could completely change the trajectory of your rhythm playing and your whole music and clarinet journey. So quickstartclarinet.com/rhythm to check that out. I hope you found the stuff in this video and any of the past rhythm videos that you may have caught helpful. Thanks so much for watching and supporting the channel, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. And last but not least, a huge heartfelt thank you to the Dennersons. This is like the QuickStart Clarinet family who supports the channel and helps to make everything that I do possible. If you would like to support the channel and get some awesome rewards in return, where we can work one-on-one over video and you can have my full support moving forward on your clarinet journey, then go to quickstartclarinet.com/supporter.